everyone, and welcome to another Free and Fit podcast with your host, Martina. Today, I want to talk about fasting, and I'm so excited that you are here hanging out with me. If you still hear my voice to be a little bit like, you hear that I'm probably sick, I'm still sick. I'm just getting over this horrible, I don't even know if it was flu or what I got, but pretty much for like 3 days, I completely lost my voice. And it's slowly coming back, and I wanted to record this episode for you and talk about fasting. Is it good for you? Is it not? And first off, I just want to share like mainly my personal experience with fasting, because I know that there's like a lot of people who absolutely love fasting. They preach, they say how amazing is that, how many benefits it has. I do know that it has benefits for some people, but I'm just gonna be very honest with you, and I'm gonna tell you how was my experience with fasting. So just so you guys remember, I have been on a roller coaster with food for very long time. I struggled with it for literally 12 years, and one of the things that I've tried was fasting. I've tried fasting when I was dealing with eating disorder, and I tried fasting also after I recovered. And at first, it actually felt like I was like, hey, like this actually might be the solution to help me lose weight. Because I felt for a little bit like I was taking control. But let me tell you, skipping meals turned into a not so fun battle with constant hunger and crazy cravings. Like I could not control my cravings when I was fasting. I literally found myself counting down the minutes until I could eat, and it was absolutely exhausting. It was awful. Like I couldn't even focus on work because I would literally constantly think about when the 12 o'clock hits so I can go and I can eat. And you know what happened after? Like I end up overeating to the point that I literally stuffed my face so much with so much food that my stomach would hurt, and it was not fun. I didn't have a good time. I felt absolutely horrible. I felt like I was just not having a good relationship with food because of that. And like I said, there are people who maybe didn't struggle with eating disorder like myself, but for myself, I've just always had an awful relationship with food, and that's just not something for me. So that's my personal opinion, right? So now let's get into like what kind of happens with your hormones or when you skip meals. So yes, your insulin levels drops, and on paper that sounds good, right? It's often linked to fat burning, or if you've ever heard that, that's what people say. So when you hear this, like, okay, that's the tool, right? Like this is how I'm gonna lose weight. But here's the catch, guys. While insulin drops, your cortisol levels, the stress hormone, can shoot up. And higher cortisol levels can leave you feeling anxious, exhausted, and you're gonna be dealing with more cravings. And if you are a woman in menopause, well, that is probably the worst thing that you can do, to wake up, not have a breakfast, maybe, drink a black coffee and then go and do like a HIIT class or a 45 or some crazy workout on empty stomach. You do not want to do that, especially if you are a woman in menopause. That's the worst thing that you can do. So speaking of hormones, let's chat about those two big players, which is ghrelin and leptin. If you've heard of these two hormones, ghrelin is the hunger hormone. So when you're fasting, those levels can spike, making you feel hungrier than usual. And on the flip side, we have the leptin, which tells your brain when it's time to stop eating. And fasting messes with both of these hormones, leading to that post-fast binging that we all know so well, or at least myself. And now, guys, when I was deep into my fasting routine, oh my goodness, I remember those days. I can't, oh my God. I've done so many diets that it's not even funny. And I'm so happy that today I'm just literally eating everything. I literally just finished eating like a big piece of cake because I was recording my one of my reels. I was doing a content. I was filming some videos for you, and I was using a cake in that video, and I literally finished eating the whole piece of cake, and I feel amazing. But anyway, when I was deep into my fasting routine, you guys, food became an obsession for me. I was constantly thinking about my next meal and when I could eat again. This kind of thinking really messes up with your relationship with food. And like I said, there are people who just loves fasting, like they just love it, amazing. But for me, that's probably the worst thing that I can do for myself because it took me so many years to heal my relationship with food that I'm very sensitive to any possible changes in my routine and eating schedule. That if you tell me that I cannot eat breakfast, and breakfast is my most favorite meal of the day, I'm literally waking up excited to literally eat my breakfast every single morning. I make my pancakes, I made protein waffles, I make protein oatmeal, and I just enjoy it. I love it. So whenever eating starts to feel a little bit more strict or it has like a strict rules, that is just not enjoyable experience for me, and it messes with my relationship with food. And I'm at this point where it took me so many years to get where I am, where I feel like I have a full control around food, that I'm not going to take any risk to mess it up. So now, if you're like, okay, Martina, this is exactly me, like I've heard my friends saying how fasting is amazing, and I'm glad that you have the same opinion like myself, because I thought that I just have like no control around food, or I don't have enough willpower, whatever you were thinking, and you resonate with what I am saying, because like I said, you're gonna find people on the internet who loves fasting, who's gonna preach it, who's gonna promote it, who's gonna say that that's the best thing in the world, and I'm here telling you that it's not for me. Give me my breakfast, okay? So now, like I said, what to do, right? So all I'm gonna say is balance. I always say balance instead of stressing over fasting. You guys, focus on simply enjoying your meals. I believe in eating multiple times a day with foods I love, whether excuse me, I'm still sick, whether it's 3 meals and 1 snack, or it's 3 big meals and 2 little snacks, whatever works for you. You might be someone who is super busy and you just can't get in 5 meals a day. That's fine. Then get 3 or 2. But like, if you love breakfast, just have that freaking breakfast. You can totally create a calorie deficit without feeling deprived or going super hungry, right? Because the only magic to lose weight is to be in a calorie deficit. There's no other magic, there's no other magic pill that you should take or look for. Calorie deficit is what you need in order to lose weight, period. Okay? Calorie deficit, period. Repeat it after me. Calorie deficit. I want to also share with you a quick story about one of my clients who joined our program about like 6 months ago, maybe a little bit more, like 6+. She used to fast, but when I asked her if she actually doesn't like or enjoy eating breakfast, she was like, no, Martina, like I love eating breakfast. I just thought that I had to fast to lose weight because I felt that that was the only option. And I was like, okay, no, okay, let me change your life, please. She even mentioned that she missed eating breakfast with her kids and rest of the family. And it was really tough for her because like she described like how like on the weekends she would be like she would be, preparing breakfast for her kids and her husband, and she would just sit around the same table and just like sip on her coffee or whatever water, and she would be just watching them eating. And when she described that to me, I was like, oh my God, this is the worst thing. Like, for me, food connects people. Like, for me, food is like love language. Like, when like, tell me, now it's Thanksgiving time, right? In Canada, we have a Thanksgiving when I'm recording this episode next week. So how can you imagine have a Thanksgiving without food? Like, imagine that you go visit your family and you're just like, okay, let's just have a good time and celebrate Thanksgiving. And you all sit down and there is no food, no drinks, nothing. It's not going to be that much fun. Like, everyone is always excited about the turkey and mashed potato and cranberries and all the, yummy stuff like pies. Like, I'm not Canadian, so I just know that there's a turkey. But you know what I'm saying? Like, food is love. Like, food connects us. Food is fuel. So anyway, back to my client. So when she joined it, I was like, please let me change your life. So she didn't believe me, and initially, that actually she can get results when she is like, implementing breakfast into her routine. She was a little scared, but I remember when I gave her a meal plan and they were like, protein pancakes, waffles, and all these like stuff that you guys see on my social media when I post what I eat. And she was mind blown. She was like, are you sure I can eat this? And I was like, yeah, just trust me. And on top of that, she was under eating for so many years that she actually didn't believe that she will, like, she didn't trust the process initially, but she was like, I'll trust you. And so we took her from eating like 1,200 calories a day to, at her maintenance, eating like way over 2,000 calories. And she actually lost tons of inches and didn't put a single pound of fat on. So that's just, again, another reminder that food is fuel. So you guys just not need to remember, like, I feel like sometimes people just overthink, like, well, what diet to do in order to lose weight. There is no specific diet. Like, it's just a lifestyle and way of eating that you can do for the rest of your life, right? It's so important to fuel your body with variety of foods. So again, like, I'm not even gonna start with like no carb, like, low carb, no sugar, like donuts are bad for you, like, stop it. No. All food is good for you. Some food has more nutrients than the other, but all food is good for you. So like I said, it's so important to fuel your body with variety of foods. Focus on whole foods like fruits, veggies, protein, whole grains. They help maintain also your hormone balance. And I also have a few tips for you, just to kind of remember. Guys, you always want to listen to your body. For the longest time, I would ignore all the signals that my body was sending me, like, you're hungry, Martina. And I would be like, no, I'm not hungry. And then I would binge, right? So if you're hungry, eat. Nourishment is key. Load up on fruits, veggies, protein, whole grains. Like I said, they nourish your body and it makes you feel good. Like, if you, like, I always say there is no bad food, like I just said like 10 seconds ago, but also when you look at my overall like eating habits and what I eat, I just focus on eating 80% of the time, maybe 90% of the time whole foods, and the rest of it, like today I had a piece of cake and I feel it was amazing. I don't regret, I don't feel any guilt, anything like that, because it's not something that I eat every single day, and that's what matters. Try to also enjoy your meals and take your time. Try to eat without any distractions. Like, how many of you guys literally like sits by the table with a phone in your hand and you're like just scrolling down social media, mindlessly eating? Next thing you know, the plate is empty and you don't even know that you finished your whole dinner, right? I do that too sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, but I try to be more mindful with how fast I'm eating. And also make sure that you're staying hydrated. Sometimes we confuse thirst with hunger, so just try to drink about like half of your body weight in ounces of water each day, and you're gonna be just fine. So yeah, guys, there you have it. While fasting might work for some people, and you've probably heard a lot about it on social media, I think it's important to understand how it affects you and personally your relationship with food. So yeah, guys, that's it. That's all. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'm going to see you, not see you, you're gonna hear me next time. Bye.